Growing up is something that we're all forced to do. And it doesn't matter whether you want to go through those changes or not, they're going to happen to you regardless. The biggest question is, why is growing up so hard? It's something that we all deal with, it's something that we all go through. However, it seems to be something that none of us can really grasp onto and have a full understanding of how to let it happen, I guess. You know, back when I was 10 years old, people would ask me, what do I want to do? Or what's a big goal that I have? And I would always say, moving out. You know, I'd always say, moving out. I want to be on my own. I always wanted to be free. I always wanted to be able to do my own thing and go wherever I wanted to go. I felt like being a kid was so limiting, not only because of the way adults treat you due to your lack of experience, but also because you're a kid. There's not much you can really do as a kid. You don't have the freedom to just go wherever you want. You have limits to the freedom. And I'm not necessarily saying that that objective has changed, but I will say that I wasn't prepared for the sacrifices required for me to have that freedom. Growing up is interesting because when you're at a comfortable spot in your life, it feels like you're going to be at that spot for forever. Even though we all know nothing lasts forever and everything dies down eventually, it still feels like we're going to be in that spot forever. You know, when I was in my adolescence, I felt like I was going to be a teenager forever. I felt like I was going to be a kid forever. I felt like I was always going to be going to school and hanging out with friends. However, obviously, that's not the case. After graduating high school, it felt like that kinda because I was still in college. But then after graduating college, it's like, damn, now what? You know, I'm no longer seeing the people that I used to see every day. Shoot, you know, things are changing. My brother's getting married next week. He's moving out, or he already moved out today. And it hit me hard because it's like, damn, even though I knew that he wasn't gonna be at the house forever, it just kind of felt like he was, if that makes any sense. And so seeing his room slowly start to become more and more empty as he finishes up his moving process, it really just hits me like a truck that things are changing. And eventually it's going to be my turn to move out. And then it's going to be my little brother's turn. And to think that somebody that was once just a door away is now a whole drive away, you know? And it's nothing crazy. He's still close by, you know, but it's just different. And that's a part of growing up, is things being different. I feel like the hardest part about growing up is the changes that you're forced to deal with, whether you look forward whether you look forward to them or not. You're going to have to go through changes. Nobody's life has ever stayed the same, no matter what class you're in. It doesn't matter. Your life is going to change. Things are going to change. People are going to change. The person that you once trusted with all your heart can turn the other shoulder, you know? And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. But growing up it's not always a sad thing. None of this is sad. It's just hard. You know, life's not supposed to be easy. Today I'm sitting at this little dock in Delaware as I was on the way to get this new lens that I'm currently recording on. And just as I was driving over here, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, I'm really grown now. I can just drive to another state like it's nothing without having to let my parents know that I'm going out, without having to let anybody know that I'm going out. You know, now that I don't have a girlfriend anymore, I literally don't have to let anybody know that I'm going anywhere. I can just disappear and come back. You know, obviously, people will get concerned if I disappear for a certain amount of time. And even though it kind of sucks, like not really having somebody to update about your life and all that other stuff, there's something about it that's also pretty peaceful. Just being able to go and do your own thing without having to worry about somebody stressing, you know? And every time I look at myself in the mirror and just look at how much progress I made and how much I grew, I still see the same person that I was back when I was 10 years old. You know, sometimes whenever I achieve something new or achieve a new goal of mine that I've been grinding for, I just think to myself and I wonder how my younger self feels about this, you know? I wonder how my younger self feels about all of this. All the things I'm going through, all the things that I went through, the things that I own. To think that once upon a time, I was just a kid with a little laptop and I wanted to be on YouTube and stuff. And that's all I had. I remember I was recording on my other channel. All I had was my laptop and my PlayStation Vita. I'll literally set the laptop up where it will be halfway open, and then I'll have the PS Vita, and then I'll play. I'll make gameplay like that. I'll use the laptop camera to record the PS Vita. And to think now I have all these cameras, microphone, you know, a whole gaming setup with 2 monitors. I have my own car. I'm saving up to move out. I have my own job. You know, it's just crazy. And despite how hard everything has been, I can't help but feel so proud of myself for getting this far, you know? So as you grow up and things get difficult, just try to remember your younger self and how your younger self felt about things and what your younger self wanted. Because at the end of the day, you're still that person. No matter how much you change, how much you grow, how old you get, you're still the same baby that was in that hospital, you know? It's very windy out here, man. Yeah, so that's just life, you know? Growing up, getting older, going through changes, seeing other people change around you. I remember last week at my friend's funeral, a lot of my friends that were in middle school that I haven't seen since middle school ended up showing up. And I had a feeling that was going to happen but I didn't really know for sure. And it was really crazy just seeing how much my middle school classmates grew since I last saw them. Because the last time I saw them was in middle school, you know? And just seeing them with facial hair and older and, you know, got some wrinkles on their face, got some life in their eyes, or more so experience in their eyes. It's weird. You can just look at a person and tell that they've been through some shit, you know? And that's just a part of growing up. And I feel like the craziest thing is that I'm still young. You know, I turned 21 like not too long ago. I'm turning 22 in like 5 months. But to think that I'm turning 22, I remember when I turned 18, 21 felt so far away. I was still in high school. I was a senior at that time. I had my whole life ahead of me, you know what I'm saying? I still do. But I had a lot more of life ahead of me, you know? And during that time, it felt like things were going to always be the same. You know, I was always going to be hanging around the same people. I was always going to, you know, continue to be in my relationship. And I was always just going to not really have a care in the world. Just go on drives, hang out with my girl or my ex, hang out with my friends, do my music videos, cool it and smoke here and there, and get some sleep. But man, has my life changed, dude. Has my life changed, man. We went from asking what the next move is to asking when are you available, you know? There's some folks that I haven't seen not because we fell off or we're beefing, but just because we've been so busy. You know, it's a lot harder to make friends during this era because we're all so busy. We're all working towards greatness. And even though it's sad, it's something to be proud of. You know, I'd rather be friends with people that aren't as available but are grinding towards their goals versus friends that are always available but they're not grinding towards anything. Like I feel like if I were to tell myself, my 18-year-old self, how life ended up playing out in just a couple of years, I'd be pretty surprised. But at the same time, I wouldn't be that surprised because I always had a good intuition. And even though in the back of my mind, I felt like eventually at some point it was just going to be me on my own, I didn't think it was going to happen like this. So now I'm out here just sitting on a dock in a random part of Delaware, talking to a camera, all by myself, with a different car. Don't even have the same car that I had, you know? I went through 5 cars since I was 18. And I just hope this is my last Honda that I go through, you know? Or at least for right now. Because I love Hondas. I'm a Honda fanboy. I don't know what it is about them cars, but I love them cars. But that's besides the point. So, you know, growing up, you just got to make sure that you're doing what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, all you have is you. The only person that you really grow up with is yourself. Yeah, you still grow up with others and you still have a whole generation of people that are your age, but they all grow up individually, you know? It's like looking at a forest. Yeah, you have all these plants that are all growing together, but each plant is individually growing. Each plant is individually getting their own sunlight, their own water. Some plants help sometimes, but for the most part, they grow by themselves and they die by themselves. Everybody has a different timeline, you know? And I really thank God that I was able to live this far. And I pray that I'm able to live even further because there's already so many people that didn't even get to make it to being 21 that was born in the same year as me or even the same month. So the fact that I'm one of the people that was able to make it to 21 is truly a blessing. Yeah, life is hard. Yeah, life sucks sometimes. But at least I can still complain about my life. When you're in the grave, you can't complain about shit. You're dead. It's over for you. Your treadmill stopped running. It's off. My treadmill's still going. So I'm still living. I'm still here. But I would say this, my last point. It's interesting growing up. As you go through more struggles, depending on who you are and your personality, you tend to understand other people's struggles. You know, today when I went and picked up the lens that I'm currently recording on, we decided to trade the A6300 for the lens, and he was going to throw 100 on top. I texted him because I was thinking about asking like for 120 if he's feeling generous, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. You know, this is already a pretty good lens. I'm not going to do that. But I arrive. Oh, well, hold on. So let me restart. So first I text him telling him, let's meet at 3, right? And he's like, all right, cool. We meet at Lowe's. We're going to meet at Lowe's at 3. Everything's good. So when it's time for me to get in the car and I'm leaving at 1:45, I look at the maps and I see that they're trying to make me take tolls. And I'm like, I don't got an easy pass yet, so I can't take tolls. So I look at the non-toll route and it's like a whole 2 hours versus an hour and 15 minutes. So I texted the guy. I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it at 3. I'm going to be there at like 3:40 because I miscalculated how long it would take if I didn't take the toll route. And he was like, all good, I'm going to still see you there and all that other stuff. So I pop up, I drive over there, we meet up. He ends up arriving like 8 minutes after me. I get out my car, let him check out the camera and all that other stuff. Everything's good. And I'm just expecting 100. And he's like, hey, I gave you an extra 20 on top of that. Take the toll route back home. And even though it's just an extra 20, it's nothing really much. At the same time, it's a lot to me. Like we're both grown and we both understand the difficulty of not taking tolls and not, you know, having the bread for the toll route or whatever the case may be. And so he thought in his own brain, without me even saying anything, let me give this guy an extra 20. He took the time to plan out where we're going to meet at and drive over here and meet me halfway because he lives in New Jersey. That's why I'm in Delaware, because this is like halfway for us. And he decided to toss me that extra 20. And to me, like, I didn't think it was much me planning out the stuff. Like, I was just trying to get this lens and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? But to him, it meant something more than that, you know? And to him, it may just be an extra 20, but to me, it means something more than that. And that's another part about growing up, is that you treat others in ways that you would want to be treated. or at least you respect them in ways that you want to be respected, and try to make life easier for them. And the little gestures that you think are little may mean the world to somebody else. But that's enough of that. Let me show you all this beautiful view we got going on. Is this camera still recording? Yes, it is. All right. Try not to scratch the camera. So we at the dock. Looking good, man. It's a very chill area, man. We got the flags. And there's an island like over here. Can't really zoom in that much. And then they got a whole ship over here. I was originally going to go to that area over there, but, it was like private property. But let me know what y'all think about this lens, man. This lens, it's like a more wider angle. I'm able to actually record closer and all that other stuff. Oh, man. And it captures a lot more. Decided to get some juice while I'm out here. I might stop by and get some good eats or something like that. And then just head back home. But I guess that's all for this video. Let me know what y'all think about the lens. I forgot my tripod, so I literally have to set the camera on this little wall right here. But everything ended up working out perfectly, so I'm glad for that. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.